Hey, hey, hey. Started off the podcast a little different. It is the TrailManners podcast, Singletrack Session number 108, which is my favorite. So, October's here. Got a little bit of rain last night.
Finally is feeling like fall.
Yep, got a little bit of moisture on the trails and anywhere, really. Cleared the air out a little bit. I was noticing that this morning. It's a little crisper. Felt nice, but yeah, we're here in October. Bad news is the Cubs are out of the baseball playoffs. Lost an ugly extra inning game last night to the Rockies, so they blew it in their last week of the season. Thank you, Cubbies, for breaking my heart once again.
But at least they're consistent with doing that every year.
Well, last 2 years they won their division, and they should have won it this year. They had such a lead going into it. Like the last month, I'm like, oh, we'll lock this up. Yeah, no. They decided not to, and then just blew it. Just bats died at the end, so broke my heart. So no more baseball for me the rest of the year because I don't like anybody else. They all suck. But yeah, last podcast we had the pleasure of meeting and talking with Mark Hammond.
Right.
Episode 123. And, you know, Mark, if you're listening, if you're one of our new listeners, thanks for making choir cool again. So
choir cool
That's
again.
my new hat, making choir cool again. So it just shows that those choir lungs can translate into endurance endeavors.
So you're still waiting on yours, right?
I really am.
You think you're a late bloomer?
I do. I think it's not just a late bloomer, but the psychology of it. You know, mental block.
You
like
have
I
to
just didn't think. I didn't think there was a crossover until I looked and spoke to Mark. I'm like, no, I can do this.
That
so
light bulb went off.
I think I'm going to go down to the thrift store, grab a cummerbund,
Yeah.
and maybe train with that just to see if it kind of brings some of that
I
aura.
think you should get down the street corner and start doing a little soloing.
A little solo, put out a hat,
Yeah.
like a little fedora, and just just start throwing some notes around, see what happens. So that's my new pitch. So, but it was cool talking to Mark. Just his traveling, he's done so well, and kind of opened my eyes. I mean, stuff maybe I should have known, but you get your podium, you can go anywhere in the world, and I'm like, damn, I should have trained harder. Like now, I want to train harder, Like free trips.
It'd be nice if they had a master's division in that category,
right? I'm still looking for more like boxing. I want weight classes.
That's a good idea, too.
I think some races could really...
The Clydesdale division?
Oh, man, I used to do that.
Yeah.
I totally remember when I first started. Like, in the Clydesdale. I'm like, what the hell's a Clydesdale?
Right.
And then I'm like, do you have to have, like, furry ankles? You have to carry a Budweiser? What is this? And I'm like, well, bring it back. I'll come to your race if you do a weight class. Because
you're trying not to gain weight, right?
No.
You're outside the Clydesdales now. You're below that.
I am. I'm, what is this? 5 weeks, 1 day to being healthy.
Gotcha.
And it's definitely taken effect. And so I'm plugging through. I figure I can make it 8 solid weeks with this plan.
Okay.
Because after 8 weeks, I'm going to San Diego with my daughter. And
think you're going to eat some bad stuff?
I know I will.
Gotcha.
I've already promised her because she's like, Dad, come on. What if we got to go to that? We got to hit that Euro shop on Mission Beach that we love. I'm like, I'm in. You know, and they got killer fries. You're in SeaWorld. They're going to have some churro action.
Oh yeah.
You know, so there'll be some. I won't go overboard, but I'll definitely do that. So feeling good. But yeah, the weight class. I think there's something there. People are doing mud runs, fun runs, chalk runs, night runs, headband, whatever, right? Underwear runs. So I think a weight class in races, you will pull me to your race. Because I still think even, with my weight, there's still not a lot of big dudes out there.
I think
faster than me.
When we're racing, we're kind of that mid to latter pack. I see a lot of chunky monkeys out there.
Yeah, exactly. But if I had something to go for, I wouldn't hang out with them and share recipes, or pizza places. I'm like, dude, it's on. Yeah, it's on. We're Clydesdale, so. Super cool talking to Mark. Can't wait to have him back on the show and wish him luck at the North Face, which I am super looking forward to now. Like I usually do, but that'll be sweet. Yeah, just to see everybody show up and
throw down,
just like I'll skip around, but just like some people did at the Bear 100 this weekend.
That's right.
There was some gnarly carnage there.
Yeah,
I mean, so many of the fast people just dropped.
A little bit of heat. Pushing the pace. The course is a little bit harder than maybe they thought.
Yeah, and being so dusty.
Yeah.
I mean, I haven't seen a lot of reports on who did what and why. Obviously the results, but being in our backyard, and we talked about it last week, who we thought would do well. And boy, some big surprises.
Yeah.
Some big surprises. On the women's side, there's a new course record.
Yeah, that girl's fast.
Yeah, Caitlin Gerben, and that's I think I picked her last week,
right.
But she came in 20:45. She was third overall.
Yeah,
not just first female, third overall, and she was like less than 1 hour behind the winner.
Right.
How freaking cool, man.
Right.
So she did really well. She, like I said, 20:45. Also, Leah Yingling out of Salt Lake, she cracked the top 10 in 22:39. So 2 top 10 for the females.
That's really awesome.
And that's, I think, still going to keep going. And then I think the third place female was Liz Canty. She was 17th at 23:02.
That's
so
really good.
3 women in the top 20. That's phenomenal. And they're bad A's, man.
Yeah, they are.
Course record. And, I mean, some of the course records in the past, I mean, we've got Darcy Africa. I know she's been on that course. Anna Frost held the previous record. Casey Lichtig's been on there.
Right.
So there's
legit
but this
people. This new gal, she's going to be tearing it up for the next 5 or 6 years. I think.
For sure.
Yeah.
Caitlin, I think she's pretty young still. She's 29.
29?
Yeah.
She's 25.
29 out of Issaquah, Washington.
Yeah. Let's give her 5 more years.
Yeah.
Just crushing it.
I think so, man. She's dialed. And on the men's side, Tyler Fox from Colorado won the whole thing in 1953.
Yeah.
Masazumi Fujioka.
Yeah.
From Washington.
Nice work. You did some homework on that.
Just some training. 2028 was second male. Third was Peter Anderson from Montana. Jason Coop came in 5th out of Colorado Springs. Mike McKnight, 22:18 in 6th. Yeah. Brandon Days, he came back. He finished 8th in 22:26, and he did Wasatch.
Right, that's impressive.
Down there in Spanish Fork. John Fitzgerald, one of the names I mentioned, he came in 9th. Some other notables. One I'm super happy to see, and maybe me and you and a very select few will know, but Pablo.
Yeah.
He came in 15th, 22:58.
Yeah. And that guy's fast.
Pablo's a local guy that we used to see more on the trails in the morning.
Yeah.
And it was awesome. I remember one morning we show up to this run. It was cold. He's got a truck, and he pulls out a fire bin, like the old huge drums, out of his back of his truck and in the parking lot, lights it up for us.
Yeah. He's a character.
Construction guy, super cool.
Yeah.
But it's nice to see him because Pablo's history is he's super fast, but he just goes out way too fast.
And his stomach is always like torn him up in the past.
Yep.
Yeah.
And I was talking to Nate, our massage guy, and Nate works on him, and Nate says, yeah, Pablo said he's had his worst training year ever because he's been working remotely.
Right.
And so he was trying to talk himself out into just going out and doing his own thing.
Yeah.
And apparently that worked, Pablo.
Good for him. Yeah.
So really cool. Cody Draper, another local guy, did well. A huge list of people we know, but some names that I can't pass up are Forrest Stewart and Misty Alessandri. A couple of our friends. They've ran the Bear. This might be their 3rd attempt.
3rd or 4th try.
Yeah, and they've never been able to finish for different reasons. Weather, I mean, a mud year and
stomach issues.
But this year they both finished. Misty crushed it, and she's
did.
been on the show before. And Forrest, he's just an awesome dude. I want to get him on the show just because of a few reasons. One, finishing the race after that many attempts is always a cool story.
Right. And being so close to the cutoff. But
he came in at 35:49, and there's still 3 people that came in after him.
Right.
Dee Wolf was one of them, a friend of the show. She came in at 35:53. Forrest 64.
Yeah.
Right. So it's not, and he works full time. He's not.
Yeah, he does.
He's not a professional runner at 64. No. But it's super cool to see, and being a real close friend of ours and friends that were there, lots of tears were shed at the finish line.
Right.
He's been chasing that for so long.
Yeah,
so
that's awesome.
Some really cool stories to come out. Our buddy Brad Sween ran.
Wendy Jagalowski.
Yes, sir. Yes, I did. The pictures I saw, she looked really good.
Oh, yeah. Fresh on the daisy.
So a lot of...
Daisy Sue Scott.
Yeah. First, I think she's tried the Bear before and had a bad time a couple of years back.
Maybe.
And she's had some... I actually spoke to her husband through Instagram.
Right.
Because I unknowingly gave him a beer at El Vaquero.
Gotcha.
Which he liked, and I'm glad he did. But, so she came in. Just a lot of fun for us, Joel and myself, just because there were so many people we know that ran this race, being a local race. But, Misty came in at 30:29.
Right.
I mean, solid.
Yeah, it is.
Especially on that course. Yeah, a lot of friends. I know we're probably missing some names, so I apologize. Tara Warren, Bryce Warren, Jeremy Sawinski,
right?
Who I probably want to talk to about getting some work done. He kind of does some stuff on the side that has to do with ink. Matt Van Horn did finish in 27:01.
Yeah.
That's pretty good considering he pushed hard at Wasatch.
Exactly. He didn't get the sub-24 double, which is like
coveted.
I think it is.
I mean, I was there. I saw Phil Lowry the year he did both.
Yeah, Matt Connors did it one year.
Yep.
I wonder how many people have done that. We need to ask Davey Crockett, the master of record keeping, how many people have actually done that.
Yeah, that'd be cool to find out. Sub-24, basically 2 to 3 weeks apart, depending on the year. 2 tough hundreds. DNFs, there were 96.
It's a lot.
96 DNFs at that race. The sad part for me, the one I hate to see, did not start. 27. So that means they didn't.
It's not too bad.
It's not bad, but this race has a big wait list.
Yeah.
Right? So these are people that just didn't say, hey, I'm not going to run, and probably took someone's spot.
Yeah.
And we've talked about that on the show before. And there's all different reasons why, for sure. But it's just unfortunate that people didn't get in.
Like 100, you know.
Yeah.
But 27. Yeah, I'd like to see the race directors do something about that for these big hundreds that have a wait list.
That's tough.
Maybe you need to sit out a year. You're not allowed to end. But then it's hard. You know, how do I know that this person is actually the person that's signing up for it?
Yeah.
Do they have an alias?
And you don't know the reason. But there are 221 finishers for the race, and registration's already open. It opened like 3 days ago, and there's already like 60 or 70 registered for that.
Right.
It'll fill up more and more. It used to be it was the hidden gem, but it was kind of always the I don't know. You got to be very careful. I can't use old analogies. People get nervous, you know. But it's kind of like the ugly duckling of Wasatch. How's that?
Right.
Okay.
Which it shouldn't be. I think it's a better course than Wasatch.
And I think it's changing, though. I think the tide's chinging a little bit, where people are more interested in the Bear than Wasatch, where it used to be Wasatch and then the Bear.
I think they should be, to be honest.
Yeah. And a lot of them.
But keep it on the down low. We don't need it to be a crazy race.
Yeah, because it'll never be able to sustain that.
Yeah.
But it used to be the last race to pretty much get into to get a Hard Rock qualifier.
Right.
So people would wait to the last minute if they didn't get one. I better run the Bear.
Right.
But now it's like, I'm going to run the Bear.
Yeah, by Christmas it's usually sold out or close to it.
So, but a big race, a lot of fun, beautiful area. And from what I heard, which hasn't been a ton, it was really smooth this year.
Good.
Like issue-wise, nothing that I was aware of, nothing glaring, I should say, which is always good for this race because for so long it did have a bad reputation.
Sure did.
But it definitely has changed over the years, for sure.
Yeah. They've tightened it up.
Big time. So congratulations to everybody who ran that race. Super cool to see so many amazing stories come out of that. And I know those stories go all over the country. But again, this is just kind of close to us with some very close friends that we see work their tails off all the time. Another race that just opened up. Our good friend Ty Draney shot a little message to me. He says, hey, can you guys just say something real quick?
Yeah.
And I said, of course. So El Vaquero Loco, 15th year.
Right.
And he said, and might have some special things going on this year.
Right.
And he gave me one of the things. I'm not going to spill the beans because I don't know if it's supposed to be out there, but it's going to be a special year. He doesn't put his entrance list up,
punk,
and I think he does on purpose. We've had this discussion, but there's been a lot of registration for it. I've just seen it all over the place.
I put the what is that? The one that's 90% full.
Oh yeah, you put that tag on there so you know. That's a good idea. I just registered.
I gotta wait.
Yeah, and we'll get to that for sure. That's unfortunate, but yeah, for his race, 15th year. I even put an event page on TrailManners because I'm going to do something cool for that. I've got ideas floating in my head, like a beer exchange, right? For people that come from other places. I know Amy Butler is coming back from Vermont.
She should.
And that's how much they love it.
You know, I think that at this point, if they come out here again, I know they love their area and it's rad and all, but they should move here.
Probably.
I'm just saying.
He could restore barns in Afton. He could find some. He could have his niche.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's so I'm trying to come up with ideas like, you know, a little potluck the night before.
Oh no. Nope.
We did that one year.
We did that. It didn't go so well.
For some people, it didn't. Some it did.
I think just about everybody did not do well the next day.
They ate a lot, drank a lot.
They drank way too much.
We could do something like that. What were the other days? Like a little beer exchange. I want maybe a contest to predict your finish time.
Right.
And we can award it right there at the finish line. So I'm got to get some ideas. If you have some, shoot them my way. Because I want to make that fun for El Vaquero 15th year. Because as Joel mentioned last week, I believe, you never know when it's the last year for this race.
Yeah.
You just never know.
Ty put his house up for sale.
I did. I saw that. He put his house up for sale.
Yeah.
They're
going to downsize.
Simple life. Their two daughters are married off. They got their son.
Doing their college thing. His son's got, is it junior this year?
He might be 1 or 2 years left. So don't expect this race to be, if you're waiting on it saying, I'll run in a couple of years, don't do that.
It's not going to happen.
Because you may not be able to.
Right? I would love to see him retire the race, either this year or next, because that doesn't happen very often. We have a really popular, iconic race. Just, we're done.
Yep. So, thanks. I mean, it's going to ruffle feathers, but it shouldn't.
No, man, it's cool to see it go out like that.
Yeah, and on his own terms, selling out. Because the first years, he struggled to get enough to even make it worth it.
Now he sells it out.
Now it's like crazy fast.
Right.
I mean, you get a hoodie.
He can sell it to somebody, you know?
Yeah.
We know somebody that would buy it, not us.
Yeah. But you never know how that's going to go over.
How are you going to get the locals to support it, right?
Yeah, because it's very remote for those aid stations.
Yeah, it is.
And the other thing is, Ty, that money that he gets goes right to his cross-country kids, his track team. They just got back from Portland, so he pays, it's not like the school's fully funded on all these things he does.
Right.
So that's a great cause. But it's a great time. That is open. I'm sure that's going to fill quickly, folks, so don't sit on it. And then we'll get back to this. So Joel has an appointment today.
Yes.
Wednesday, October 3rd, for his knee.
For my MRI.
He's been having knee problems for years.
Well, yeah. I mean, I've had 3 meniscus surgeries, 2 repairs where they sewed it back down. Those were fine. I had one where they cleaned it up. And after my last meniscus surgery, I tore it again. That was 2012, and I've just ignored it since then. And then this past summer, I hit my knee on the door, and it is flared up bad.
Damn
clunking, my knee's collapsing. So
what do you think? What's your?
Well, I definitely have. I'm pretty sure I have a torn meniscus.
Okay.
The doctor was worried that it might be articulate cartilage that is torn, which I don't want that.
So if it's a meniscus, then what are you looking at?
Dude, I have no idea. I might try a PRP injection first.
Okay.
Yeah. If I can wait 1 more year to get surgery, I'd do that.
Would you?
But I don't want to try to run on it next year and just really tear up that knee.
Just wreck it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I've already kind of getting a implant for my tooth. So there goes my disposable health income for the year. Or otherwise I might consider getting surgery.
We could do we talked about we could do a GoFundMe.
Yeah.
Joel's bionic knee.
Yeah, exactly.
Would be the $6 million man, maybe like $500,000 man or whatever it costs.
Whatever that costs, yeah, exactly. So that's why I haven't pulled the trigger on Vaquero for next year.
And the reason I love the race, and it does. It's like I would really, and I know I've said this before, I would really, if it's the last year, I'd love to go out in style. Like just have a good day. Because I don't know if I've ran it 6 times. I don't know if I've ever had a good day there.
Yeah, it's hard.
I've had better days than others, but I've never had a good day.
Yeah, exactly.
So I'm like, I don't want to flip burgers for 4 hours. Maybe let's go, see what we can do, run it. But last year, volunteering and hanging out was a blast because I wasn't wrecked.
Now you can do a shift, like do an hour shift at the grill.
Oh, but yeah, I signed. I had to do it. Drop some money. It's going to a good cause.
It is. It always is.
I paid, folks. I paid. Just because we're close with Ty doesn't mean we're not going to pay.
Oh, yeah, I always pay.
Yeah, so that'll be a good one. Another one. So, Joel's knee, and then today I told Joe when he got here, I'm like, man, I just got an email from Southwest, $49 one-way flights to a few places.
That's a good deal.
So I'm looking, I'm like, okay, where do I look? It's like Burbank, California, Vegas, L.A., Sacramento, San Diego, and San Jose. $49 one way. But then it's the hotel that kills me.
Yeah.
Because I'm like, I love San Diego.
Right.
And I'm not a beach sand guy, but I love San Diego.
Right.
I found an airfare for me in February. I'm like, man, I could go back and forth, $98 round trip.
That's a good deal.
But then I looked at hotels. I'm like, damn, I'm out.
Yeah, they break you.
They do. So I need to find...
Airbnb it, maybe.
Yeah, maybe I'll figure something out.
You don't mind staying at somebody's
They have hostels for like $29, but
oh yeah, do that.
That might be an option. But I got to work while I'm there. You know.
Yeah, I don't want to be stealing your stuff.
Yeah, so maybe just rent a car because you can get them for pretty cheap. Because I'm going in October, and I think I had a car for 4 days for like $120. Yeah, something like a Yugo or something, Gremlin, something like that.
Yes,
something like that. I think it's a Gremlin, the licorice dispenser, for pretty cheap. Another race that's coming out, one that we've been close with for a few years now, the Beaverhead. Endurance runs. They've got some changes, a little bit. I guess not really changes, but we're going to be giving out a contest for a free entry.
Right.
Registration doesn't open until November 1st, so we're going to be talking about it this month. It's July 13th, 2019. We got a free entry to give out. And let's go back. We have a free entry we're going to be giving out to El Vaquero.
Yes, we do. But we'll do that in December?
December. We'll do that like Christmas time, and that'll be, which is kind of tough, I guess, too, because what if it sells out? Because you're not going to get a refund. We'll have to think this one through. But we do have an El Vaquero Loco, thanks to our friend Grant Nicholas.
The way we're going to have to approach this is if you've signed up and for some reason you want that entry, you have to be willing to donate to somebody.
Okay. We'll figure that out. But we do have
the whole point of Vaquero Loco is to raise money for that cross-country team.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And that the entrance, I guess the registration is coming from Grant Nicholas,
right?
Buddy we run with and friend out of Jackson, my burger flipping partner from last year,
right?
And campsite sharer from last year. So we have that. But back to Beaverhead, either distance we're going to have one. Check them out at beaverheadenduranceruns.com or on Facebook, Beaverhead Endurance Runs. So in 2019, the 100K is a 2020 Western States qualifier,
right?
UTMB, 4 points.
Yeah.
55K UTMB, 3 points. So that's pretty cool.
It is.
They're going to be balancing out their permits between both distances. So basically, they'll have less 55K spots available. The past couple of years, they've had about 200 plus in the 55K. This year, they're going to make it 175 for both distances.
Okay.
So they're going to even it out. So if you're thinking about it, you got a month to hammer that in.
Right.
Also, what you need to understand is rooms go quick there. Small town. Yes. So Stagecoach Inn, if you're looking at that, has some rooms available, and they're going to be blocking those. And the 100K finishers get a custom hoodie. So pretty cool race. I had a great time last year. Absolutely breathtaking views.
Yeah.
This race, folks, I'm going to be straight honest with you, is not for a first-timer.
Probably shouldn't be your first time.
Yeah, I mean, if it is, just train hard.
Yeah,
and just understand,
smart.
because last year I ran with a kid near the end, probably like 8 miles out to the finish, and he was complaining the course was too technical.
Right.
And he couldn't run enough.
Which I don't understand why people don't do a better job of reading the course description.
Yeah, because it is a great, rugged mountain race.
Yeah.
It's hard. It's not a PR course.
Nope.
Shouldn't be. I mean, there's some exceptions. Jimmy Elam crushed it last year.
Right, but that's Jimmy Elam.
That's Jimmy Elam, but it's just a beautiful race. Absolutely one of the better run races I've ever been to from start to finish. The check-in's amazing. The gear you get's amazing. The experience is incredible.
Right.
And
the
views
pre-race dinner is pretty tasty.
Yeah.
If you choose to go that route, I know it's old school.
But just be careful not to overdo it.
It's easy to overdo it.
But a great time. Race directors are awesome. David Tarkelson's a friend of ours who we first came in contact with this race, and just a great guy. They do it for the right reasons, and they bring a lot of fun stuff. And I'm always going to throw this plug in there. They have a little Amish storage before you go into town.
Yeah, it's on the left-hand side. If you're coming from the south.
Yeah, please stop. They're closed on the Sunday, so
right.
hit them Friday or Saturday. But it's a must-see TV, man. Place is incredible.
Good, huh?
Good sandwiches, all their food. They have crazy cheese all over the place. It's an amazing stop. The whole experience is awesome, so we'll be talking about that all this year, but check them out, beaverheadenduranceruns.com. We will be doing a contest for a free entry. This registration does open November 1st, again, July 13th, 2019, and there's a decent chance I'm going to be there again. I swore off it last year because it hit me in the ground, but I don't know, man. It's just like one of those things where it's far away enough away. And me and you talked about before the show, I think it's a course I'm like, I could do better.
Well, yeah.
Like if I do it, I'd do the 55K because I
Right.
really did enjoy that, and I enjoyed being done so I could spend time with my daughter as
Right.
opposed to if I did the 100K, I'd finish.
Just be wrecked.
Yeah, and I'd be like, yeah, can you pull the call over?
Can you drive home?
Yeah, exactly. So yeah, check that out. Great group. But the big news and the big race that's open for registration is the Nordic Valley 7K, December 15th.
True.
Put on by a couple of local yokels, TrailManners. Nordic Valley Ski Resort. We're working with them for some potential ideas, but it's a great course. It's a lot of fun. It's kind of like one of those races where we just hang out, enjoy ourselves, have a good time. Registration is open. We've had registrations coming through. Not a lot going on that time of year.
No.
Early morning. You can come, run the race.
Get it done. Have the rest of your day.
Do whatever you want.
Yeah,
Ski on the mountain for a little bit. Go shopping. Go have some lunch. Go water skiing at Pineview. Whatever. Whatever you want to do.
There's not enough water in that reservoir.
Yeah, check. We'd love to see you there. Nordic Valley 7K, put on by us here at TrailManners, and we'll be a good time. All right, I'm going to do the Strava week while Joel gets ready to hammer out the Woody Footies.
Oh, yeah.
Last week on Strava, distance 145.6 by Ryan Norman.
That's a lot.
It is a lot. Second was Wanderley Rice, 35:01, and climbing, Tara Warren, 23,800. Congratulations, way to go to all you Strava champions, so to say. Woody Footies this week. There were some good ones. I'm glad it wasn't my week to pick.
Yeah. There's a lot of solid ones from the Bear course.
Yeah, and some previous winners. Ryan Ward on Buffalo was awesome. John Kemp from back east was in town.
Yeah.
He was out all over the place.
Right.
Buffalo Run. Got a great picture of Dee Wolf and her 11-year-old pacer.
That was cool.
That is so cool. 14 miles. Why he proudly wore his TrailManners hat. So thank you very much. We love the Wolf family. Always been great supporters. Simon Hodgson's back. He's back in the mix, showing some stuff. He's even talking about coming back up to El Vaquero in 2019.
Well, he teased this year.
Yeah, I think some things happened, but
it'd be awesome if he were able to make it across the big pond.
That would be really cool. Jeff Hart, please stop it. You're killing me.
Oh, my gosh. Every week.
It's just not fun.
I think he's like photoshopping this stuff somehow.
He's
not doing it.
He's like, hey, we go take a picture of this place?
Yeah.
No, they're amazing, Jeff. You get it, man. Get it.
That one dude back east is crushing it, too.
Cade Brown?
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, my gosh.
That's what I was going to say. He was in the White Mountains of New Hampshire, had an awesome one. Some of them were cool because it's like the clouds. It's like, well, what are those? What are those things?
I think the one from the Bear was Brad Sween's that was really iconic. And if Brad had not been the previous winner, I would have chosen him.
That was really cool. Fish He's like mile 96 of the course.
Yeah, exactly, where you can see the lake. You can almost smell the barn.
Yeah. Jen Thistle had one. With,
oh, yeah.
Jeff would just keep it up.
They're up there doing Bob Ross paying seminars.
Yeah,
that's what they're doing.
He's like, put in your wig, let's do this.
Yeah.
Dave Stevenson had a good one, pitch black.
Yeah.
He just runs so darn early. Now you don't get the sun anymore, any lighting whatsoever.
Exactly.
Brett Whitelaw, I want to check it out. He keeps doing some stroller runs, and he has one on some pretty gnarly single track.
I know.
#, not recommended. I'm going to have to agree with you on that one.
That's good strength training.
It's got to be. I hope there's not an infant in that thing. Yeah, we had some good ones. I'm going to skip over a few. Andrew, a snowman? Come on, bro. Really? It's the 1st of October, and they're building snowman. September 23rd in Edmonton, Alberta.
Oh, that's north of the wall.
Yep.
Yeah.
Jordan Fox, Dunvegan Park in Canada. We've got a lot of Canadian ones this week. Richard Allen, you hurt me. He says, played us some best cheese curds ever. And
I
just
saw
a picture of that.
Pretty
Looks
good.
super good. Missy Burkle pacing at the Bear. Picture of a TrailManner signed. Thank you. Chris Ward. Oh, boy. Another nice one. Megan Martinez back in Maryland with her guy doing the Ironman.
Yeah.
Doing well at that. Jen Haas Walker, New Mexico. What else we got? Eric Manning, Strong's Canyon, BST. That means he ran or got near there.
Yeah.
Corey Vigil, Indian. Kathleen Hobbs had a great one. Some old trail signs, some aspens. A lot of good ones. From Idaho, Oregon. Matt Swiontek from Olali Lake. That was super cool. Jed Malmberg got some Quakies up Powder Mountain. And congratulations to Stacy Bernal. Her first run as a grandma. She took a picture of. Super cool. Congratulations on that. Chad Smith in New York, got a nice New York one. Tracy Newkirk again, Mount St. Helens. Amy Butler is killing me with the Vermont stuff.
Yeah.
I want to get back out there. Rachel Ziller, El Capitan.
Mm-hmm.
That's pretty cool, folks. A lot of Quakies. Pacific Northwest photo. Skull Crack by Scott Hansen.
Mm-hmm.
That was pretty cool as well. But Joel picked the winner this week, and it's a good one. Eric Thomas, City Creek was a good one.
Mm-hmm.
Joel, who do we have for the winner this week?
Aarin Saft, running the Shut-In Trail near Asheville, North Carolina.
That one was wicked cool. That's what I think of North Carolina as, kind of those rolling mountain hills, right?
Exactly.
That's
a lot of trees on top.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
So, Aaron, send me your mailing address, manners@trailmanners.com. I will get you. I think we're down to 12 hats.
Oh, good.
So we have 12 more left
Mm-hmm.
of these hats. So if you haven't won, push hard to the finish, man. Push hard, because we're almost out of them. So thank you very much for everybody. Again, over 50 entries.
Right.
I'd love to see that keep growing, because it's just really neat to see all these awesome photos where people go more than anything. So thank you for that. Now we got, what's that?
Before we do the Ask TrailManners thing, even though it's October and we just had a bunch of rain, it'll probably warm up again.
Yeah.
I'm assuming it is.
Yeah.
Don't assume that the rattlesnakes are gone.
Ooh.
This is a public service announcement.
Oh, I'm not liking this, but I'm listening.
So on Sunday evening, me and my son went out for a run because he's on the cross country team and he needs to step it up.
Is he lube? You got him his own squirrels?
I totally had him lube up before he went for the run.
All right, just making sure.
Yeah. Yes, we're being more consistent with that now.
He's getting used to wearing squirrels nut butter.
Yeah, exactly.
All right.
But so we start at the gate at Ross Drive. And we run out to Waterfall Canyon and back. So that's 2 miles. Yeah. And that's what his race distance is for his age group. And on the way back, right above the bobsled, I was like, Porter, there's a group of people. I want you to get in front of me, and I want you to run up to them. And then once we get to that group of people, we'll stop and walk a little bit, because he was getting tired.
Yeah.
And just as he gets in front of me, I see the shadow on the trail, all the way across the trail.
Oh,
Before I can say anything, thank God, he jumped over the rattlesnake.
Holy cow.
The rattlesnake didn't rattle. He didn't...
A little sluggish, maybe.
Didn't scurry away. But I'm glad that he had that primal instinct to jump over that rattlesnake.
Man.
And it was a good-sized one, about 18 inches.
Man.
It wasn't, like, big and fat yet.
Yeah.
But just a little PSA. They're still there, folks.
Crap.
Yeah.
I've been up there this past week, and I haven't even thought about them.
Yeah.
Now I got to start thinking about them again.
Yeah.
What time of day were you out there?
At 4 o'clock in the afternoon, yeah.
Okay.
So, I mean, it was still warm
Warmer.
enough that they're probably going out for their evening hunt.
Did he see, did you guys talk about, check it out? Did you guys stop and look
at
it?
Yeah, he was, jumped over. He was on the other side, and then that group of people came up, and one guy had a big stick, and before I can ask him for the big stick, because I was going to thump it, he scurried away.
Okay.
And then got in the weeds and just was all mad at that point, was rattling his
Porter
tail.
knew it was a rattle. You guys said it was a rattlesnake?
Yeah, I did.
Has he seen one before?
Yes, he's seen one before, but that's the first time he's been
jumping over one.
Jumping over one, almost stepped on it.
Yeah, so cross country's nothing now. You're like, kids, this is nothing. That's a sprinkler.
Yeah. Anyways,
maybe it's the primal, like you said, the primal knowledge, but also that squirrel's nut butter gets in your system, and you're a runner now.
I didn't give him the spicy version of
that's
good.
Butter. Oh, that's good. Keep that away from him on accident. He'd be like, Dad, man, come on.
Yep.
So we do have a couple Ask TrailManners questions. This one's a good one. It's from Eric. He sent this over. He said, "What's up, guys? So I have a controversial question for you." So people just keep sending them to us. We talked about the running partner one, which we had a few great comments on.
Yeah.
But this one is, so regarding pacers, I am wondering what you guys think about having separate finishers categories for non-paced runners and paced runners. Because in reality, having a pacer changes the dynamic of the race. It's no longer just you, it becomes a team event.
Right.
Because without a pacer, when you're low, you might tap out or you might go out too fast or run too slow. Pacers really do affect the outcome of races, and without one, the race maybe even have a completely different outcome for you. What do you think? And I replied to him, just said, hey, thanks, this is a great one. I think I remember, and I couldn't find it, but I swear there was a race that had different categories. It might have been in California. It was a 100-miler.
I think it is it Angel's Crest?
I might be. There was one that had different finishers, like pacers, non-pacers.
Right.
I think that's really, I like the idea, but as a race director, I think that's difficult to know who does. I mean, you probably have to say, yes, I have one.
Yeah, you got to sign up for it, and you got to sign a statement.
Yeah.
I think is what Angel's Crest did.
Yeah. And
saying that you will not take, how they word it, you will not receive aid in the form of a pacer.
Yeah, something.
And if you do, you're disqualified from the race.
If you sign up for a non-pacer one. I think it's a great idea. I think there's, again, you kind of have that gray area of, I don't know if it's a gray area, but it's more work for the RD as well.
Right.
You know, and it's like, is that one more thing I want to take on?
Mm-hmm.
But I totally agree. It does change the dynamics of a race.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, you hear all the time, I'll be the first to admit there's been more than one, well, especially one race. I'm like, if I didn't have a pacer, I don't know if I would have finished. I mean, my
Right.
pacers absolutely were very, it wasn't like they picked me up, did any of that, but they were very, come on, very encouraging.
Prodding you along.
Yeah, exactly. So I absolutely agree with you on this one, Eric. And, you know, Run Rabbit Run, I think they do a good job of how they do it. And maybe that's what is easier for race directors, is just having two categories. I don't know if it's two different start times to make it easier. I don't know if you need that. But, yeah, I wouldn't mind seeing it. I mean, it doesn't affect me one way or another. I don't think it affects anybody if you just register for the category. But it is, and that's, you know, that's partly why Carl is so against it. You know, especially for the elites, because we talked about that. You know, just elites shouldn't have pacers. I think we talked to Mark Hammond about that.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think it's a great question, and I think it's one that will always be a hot topic. You know,
for sure,
because it is. I mean, Mark even said, you know, at his race when Ryan Sands took over pacing at Western.
Oh yeah, it was a different ballgame.
Yeah, I think it was Western.
It was Western.
Yeah,
because he was pacing Francois.
Yeah, he's like it was just totally game over,
yeah.
right? So it does give you an advantage. You can't say it's an unfair advantage because anybody can do it.
No, it is an unfair advantage at that point. You know what I mean? So if Mark doesn't have a pacer, then Francois's got a pacer. It becomes an unfair advantage.
Well, I mean unfair. Like it's fair. You just chose not to have a pacer. You know what I mean? It's like with the rules. I mean, you can't.
True.
I just don't think you call it unfair.
It is unfair.
I think it's an advantage.
Yeah, which is it's an advantage that either all the elites have a pacer or they don't.
But it's your choice though, right? Because
it needs to be you. If you're racing, it's you versus the clock, not you and your pacer versus the clock. That's what it should be for the elites. Yeah, no, I agree. I agree. Yeah. Maybe one day we'll have a race that has when you run a marathon, you got the guy carrying the stick. Like this is the 2:15 or the 3-hour pace, is a 3:15 pace, and you kind of hang with them, and that's their job is to. I think that's kind of silly in my opinion. The first time I saw that, I'm like, what is? I'm not a road runner, right?
But when I first saw it, I'm like, what the deal? Oh yeah, if you run with that person, you'll finish in 3:15.
Right.
I'm like, what?
I know. Don't get me started on that.
Yeah, I'm like, I'm not. It's just weird for me. Is all. It's like run with me for 3:15. This guy over there is like 2:40. This guy's 3:30.
Right.
So I'm like, oh, okay, whatever. I don't want to carry a stick.
I don't know, man. I think that for some of the harder courses, pacers, I'm okay with pacers.
Yeah.
Safety.
Yeah.
Like, which ones would those be?
Hard Rock.
Hard Rock, maybe.
Yeah.
I don't know. Even for Hard Rock.
Maybe, again, I think it comes down to elites.
That's a lot of impact on that environment.
Well, we've talked about that.
Right.
It's like when people are like, oh, they only let you have 150 runners. Like, will they count pacers?
Yeah. I'm Tough.
You never know.
I'm totally okay with somebody having a pacer at I'm Tough.
Yeah.
That's some scary bear country up there.
Yeah.
Right.
That stuff.
The putts one would be another one.
For the 100,
for the 100, for sure. Something like that.
Yeah.
Those areas where you're having a greater encounter with a predator that will take your life, I think that would be okay with that.
Yeah.
But I think overall, no.
So basically you got a sacrificial pacer is
pretty
what it
much,
is. So
right?
if you're pacing me at, Palisades 100 or I'm Tough 100, just know that if the bear comes out, your job is to die.
Yes.
While I keep going.
There you
basically.
go.
All right.
I like it. That's a contract.
You should have a special smelly shirt, scented shirt, right? It's like, nope, that guy's the same.
Bacon smelling shirt.
There you go.
Yeah.
And speaking of, I guess we should say our buddies Trevor Fuchs and Gabe Joyce are today, I believe, Wednesday, October 3rd, going for an FKT at Tetons.
Yeah, on the Teton Crest Trail.
So good luck, fellas.
I know.
I know by the time this airs, it'll be a yes or a no, and I'm going to hang out with Trevor tomorrow at his garbage run, picking up trash tomorrow night, so I'm looking forward to going to that, and hopefully hear blow by blow, and hopefully he's got no, claw marks or anything.
Bear bite marks on his behind.
I mean, again, Gabe's a little thicker.
Yes.
His quads especially, so he would be more of a
tasty treat
than looking at Trevor.
Gabe can get him in that headlock.
Yeah, Gabe's he's like a little baby bear.
Yeah.
Little scissor headlock.
Yep.
And it's like, I'll eat Gabe and I'll pick my teeth with Trevor.
Yeah.
Right?
Because Trevor's like a little toothpick.
Yeah. But yeah, can you imagine if a bear came out? Who would be faster? It's like, zing!
I think they both are going to run really fast.
Yeah, so that was first TrailManners. Next one is from our buddy Andrew. He says, when are you guys coming up to Canada?
Hey?
It didn't say that, but my Google Translator left that out. Yeah. I see several awesome pictures from Canada this week. It's time. Hosers. Take off, eh? Strange brew.
That's more like Eastern Canada, right?
I don't know.
He's more, Central Western? Isn't that where he's at? Where's he at? Do we
Canada.
know?
He's in Canada.
Okay,
North America.
North America. He's on the continent.
I thought he's Alberta. Isn't it Alberta?
I'm not sure.
I think it's Alberta.
Man, we're failing bad on our friend North.
I don't know the geographic landscape. I know where Vancouver, because I've been there.
I know
where Banff is.
I know where Calgary is.
I know somebody that was from Nova Scotia, where they beat up baby seals.
That's right.
I do, and so yeah.
But then there's that big swath in between of just kind of like generalness,
where they put mayonnaise on their hamburgers, right? Isn't that part of the map?
Good point. I kind of like a little mayonnaise.
My gosh, I'm out.
Yeah. A little ketchup, that's pretty good, dude.
No mayo
that's
for
me.
That's
fry sauce right there.
I don't like fried sauce either. And the next one, this is a good question.
Oh, that was his question?
That was one of them, when we coming up there. So the first one is, trust me, I would love to, but you got to understand, me and Joel.
Where his neck of the woods is, I'm not sure.
Like, you have to get a float plane to get there?
Yeah.
I don't know, man. I don't travel to Canada. I've driven to Vancouver. That's it. Yeah,
I'd like to go to Vancouver, and there's a race up there I'd like to do. Well, one of Gary Robbins' races.
Oh yeah, was it Squamish?
It's the one that was a couple weeks ago.
Okay. Squamish 50-50.
That one's in August.
Okay.
He just wanted to have one either last week or the week before, and it looked amazing. And they're going to have, I think, a 50-mile and 100-mile option.
The Mountie 50?
Jeez, I have no idea.
I don't know.
I've got nothing for you.
I'm throwing darts.
Yeah. Well, that Tiana Way one.
Oh, that looks amazing.
That looks really cool.
That's going to be one to keep we talked about that after the first week, and I think that one's going to really take off.
I saw some more pictures from that area. I was like, yes.
Yeah, I would love to get up to Canada.
Yeah.
But since I moved into my apartment, I left the money tree in the backyard of my house, so I don't have access to it. So
gotcha.
It's a fun thing. It's a fun thing. But I would love to go to Canada to run. I've only been a couple times, and that was just for hockey, which still, don't get me wrong, was an absolute blast. It was a lot of fun. But I'll tell you this is my Canada story, real quick. I'll make it quick. I went up there. I was a college student in Oregon. We went up there to watch a hockey game with some buddies of mine on St. Patrick's Day, I believe, or sometime. I think it was St. Patrick's Day.
Right.
And we went into a bar. I don't know if they call them pubs in Canada. We went into a bar, and everybody's wearing green as a party. So we walked in, and if I remember right, and this has been I'm old, but I think you didn't have to be 21 in Canada at the time, or maybe still don't. I think we were 19. We weren't old enough to go into the bar. Is how it worked. I wasn't.
In Canada or the U.S.?
Canada.
Okay.
I wasn't old enough to go, or in the U.S. I wasn't old enough to go in. So we go in.
You were.
I don't know if we snuck in, just walked through security because everybody was St. Patrick's Day. But anyway, I walk into this bar. I'm probably 19, maybe 20 at the oldest, and really nervous. Because I know I wasn't supposed to be there, or I was excited because, wow, I can go into this.
Yeah.
And my buddies and I walk in, and this lady comes walking around. Okay, I'm 19 or 20, 40-year-old. She could have been 30 because I was younger.
Yeah.
Comes walking like dead eye straight to me, right? And my buddies are looking at me, and I'm like, oh, shit, I'm in trouble.
Yeah, you are.
She comes over and she just laid one on me. on the mouth, started kissing me.
Total trouble.
Yeah.
You didn't know what to do with that.
I did not.
Right?
Because I'm, number one.
You could have been the luckiest guy in the world that night.
I could have been a lot of things.
That's
but I've always been horrible with girls to begin with. And that stuff has never happened to me. That's like what you see on, like, HBO late at night. So this person comes over, starts kissing me. I didn't know what to do.
This was the makings of a good penthouse write-in letter.
It was
and you screwed it up.
Oh, you know I did.
Oh, my gosh.
So, I honestly blacked out because that's what I do.
Yeah.
I don't know if I kissed her back or not. Anyway, she broke away from me.
Yeah.
Said something, and I don't remember. I used to remember. Said something
about, come on, big boy.
And walked away. And my buddies are looking at me because she was very attractive. I do remember that.
Right.
And they were like, holy cow. And I remember looking at one of my buddies and went, man, I love Canada.
Yeah, exactly, right?
And that was it. That's the story.
Yeah, you changed your nationality, right?
I did. I'm like, hey, where do I get a pet
do I
moose?
sign up? Yeah.
Where's those big hats? Where's my Mr. Big Bar? But yeah, that was my funny story.
Right.
And I'm like, this is a pretty cool place. Like, I could come here more often.
Do you wish you can go back in time now? Rectify that problem?
No, I don't know, because that's not my deal. Yeah. But at the time, I'm a college kid. It was more of a story, and for like the next 3 days, I was kind of like the man.
You were the
with
man.
My buddies. My buddies like, dude, that was cool, and I'm sitting there going, yeah, and I'm like, what happened again?
Exactly.
Like I was blacked out. But it was pretty funny because that stuff just doesn't happen in real life, let alone to me. But it was a riot. So yeah, Canada. I want to go back to that bar, Andrew.
Right.
I don't know where it is. It's in Vancouver. They play hockey games on TV, so that might limit it down to a little bit. Had some little bats blue. Let's see. And then the second question you have, what percentage of your annual running is done in winter, spring/fall, and summer? That's a tough one.
Wow.
And I think a lot of it for me has to do with, number one, weather and where I'm at injury. And
say 25%?
Yeah, I mean, I think spring/fall is my busiest because I enjoy those more. It's winter, we get out. We've been pretty good in the past because we haven't had big, hard winters.
Right. We
still get out, lower mileage for sure. I don't remember ever doing anything big in the winter. Summer, almost out of necessity, especially this year I ran so many races. But spring/fall, I would say, is a big chunk, at least 60+% of those two, right? And winter would be the smallest portion. Right. But yeah, spring/fall is the biggest for me. Is my favorite time. Just the weather, temperatures, scenery. Summer, too damn hot here. Winter, depends on the winter. If it's a hard winter, you can't get out as much.
It's hard.
2 winters ago, we were running on dirt in January.
Yeah.
So that's a good question. It's probably different everywhere. Like where you guys are at, I imagine your spring, fall, winter kind of blend into one a lot with snow levels. And I don't know summer-wise up there.
They look like they have some pretty nice summers.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know the heat-wise, because I'm not a heat guy. So if you like heat, like I know Jim Skaggs, our buddy, likes heat. He runs a lot in the summer because he loves heat.
Yeah, he'll run at 5 o'clock in the afternoon when it's 100 degrees.
Yeah, right. So, yeah, I think percentage-wise for me it's more based around weather.
Something like that,
for
probably.
What? For what?
For
each?
No, for the winter.
Yeah, I mean, winter we still get out.
Yeah.
It's less people. And we have we're lucky as well because the route we do is pretty much Bonneville Shore. It's about the only place you can run. And we get a lot of fat bikes, snowshoers, and it's an urban trail, so hikers are out, so it packs down nicely.
Yeah, 24 hours after a snowstorm, it's probably packed.
Yeah. So I would say we probably get out more in winter than you might expect. But again, it depends on the snow year.
Right.
I'd have to say on that one. So great questions, though, Andrew. And I'm sure that's different everywhere. Just because, like San Diego, you can probably get out
year-round
as much as you want. So it might be weather-dependent, injury-dependent, race-dependent. Maybe you've got big races with some downtime. Because we've talked about this. Generally, we used to always say this, not on the podcast, because even longer than that. It was like October to February was like dead time. It was like off-season, right?
Yeah.
And now it's not.
Yeah.
It's just basically you're training year-round on some level. You might take weeks off. You might change up how you're training, but there's no downtime because of races anymore.
Yeah. Well, the opportunities are greater now than they used to be.
Yeah. Yep, for sure.
Race every weekend if you wanted to.
Easily, especially on the black pavement with the rocks and the gutters and
the cars,
yellow lines and cars. So, but yeah, I think that's it for this week. Got to wish Gabe and Trevor good luck. Joel, good luck at his appointment today.
Yeah.
Trying to figure out what to do with racing schedules next year. I know we keep getting answered questions on that through email, through Instagram, through Facebook. Still up in the air for me. I mean, I registered for Yale Vaquero because
that was a no-brainer.
Wanted to start that one going, and I had $90, so that not anymore. But, thanks for listening to the podcast. We'll be back next week. Hope you enjoyed the show with Mark Hammonds. Great guy. Again, keep your requests coming. Keep your Ask TrailManners questions coming. And keep interacting with us through our social media, as Joel says. So this is Eric and Joel, Singletrack Session 108, and we are out.